So, Greg, talk to me, man. Would it be a mistake for the Texans to cave on trading Deshaun?
Absolutely not. This is what they need to do. I get it. He's a transcendent talent. He's someone that you really don't want to part ways with, but it's appearing that you're going to have to. And so let me just take you down this road of teams that have had this type of an issue with the star player. The Raiders a few years ago with Khalil Mack. And all of us were like, what are they doing? What is Gruden doing getting rid of Khalil Mack? But they turned around and was able to get 2 first-round draft picks, and they're rebuilding, and they're doing a great job of that. And they've surfaced to be a decent team, and we would assume that they would be a playoff team hopefully next year. We'll see. And then you look at other teams that have done it. Like, it's not the first time the Seattle Seahawks – the Jets, they acquired 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams. It has happened. So there's teams that have done this, and it's worked. The Jaguars a few years ago, Jalen Ramsey wanted out. He was disgruntled. He made it known that he didn't want to be a part of what the Jacksonville Jaguars were doing. They, in return, they were able to obtain 2 first-round draft picks from the Rams. The Rams, with even Jared Goff this year, they got rid of their guy. They get Matthew Stafford. The Lions get first-round draft picks out of that. So it's worked out when teams have had to part ways with their quote-unquote franchise player. I think the Houston Texans have to consider restacking what they don't have this year moving into the draft and acquiring some picks and some assets for a guy like Deshaun Watson, who will be highly sought after if you start answering those phone calls. And I just believe that with them wanting or needing to rebuild, there is no want. They are in a rebuild. Deshaun Watson does not want to be a part of that. He's been a part of a rebuild. He's been a part of what he felt was a retool. It has not worked out. He's disgruntled. Let the man go and acquire everything that you possibly can that will afford you opportunities to build a better product, a better team constructively for your fan base, for your organization, that will set you up for future success. Because Deshaun Watson doesn't look like he's going to be a part of that.
There was also a report that the GMs also said, yes, they would quietly trade Greg Jennings' shirt that he's wearing right now. Oh, okay. They said that they would cave and trade Greg Jennings' shirt as well. Listen, I don't think either one would be a mistake. I mean, I think that shirt is spicy personally. I'm with it. I'm all the way with it, G&J, just like your flavor of your cognac, G&J. Hey, look, Greg, Rick, I don't think it's a mistake at all. In fact, I think the sooner the better at this point. Times are changing. The dinosaur age of how things are handled and done is gone. It's dead and gone. It's going to be fossils. You're going to see them. They're going to be petrified in rocks, and we'll be able to look at them and study them. The old way of doing business is gone. The old way says you keep them. You don't seek a trade. You force that player to handle it the best way that they can handle it because they were given a contract, and within that contract parameter, you do what you're supposed to do as your job is spelled out in that contract and what you signed on the dotted line. But this is 2021, y'all. And when you look at what Deshaun Watson is doing and what is happening with all these other players out here and how they feel and their voice being heard, there's a lot that has happened since COVID. There's a lot that has gone on in this country, and that's playing out in football, in the National Football League. It's playing out in college. Look at the transfer portal. The way the rules of engagement have been in the past have totally changed. He doesn't want to play for y'all. He don't like y'all no more. Get over it, all right? If he don't want to be around y'all, get over that. Get rid of it. Get rid of the situation, it being the situation. Take care of what you need to take care of in terms of trying to, because first of all, you got to see if you can get a trade. You got to see if you can get the value for what it is that's going to be asked for Deshaun Watson. If I'm the Houston Texans, I go beyond the call to try and get him moved. And if he doesn't get moved because we couldn't come to an agreement of what the proper compensation would be, then I had the conversation with Deshaun Watson about, now you got to play for us because we can't move you, bro. Like, we tried to move you. We can't. But that has to be the approach. I would not have a problem with them caving in and trying to figure out the best steps forward to moving and allowing Deshaun Watson to move on. And if we can't move you on, then Rick, you got to accept the fact that we couldn't move you even though we tried. And we got to try to figure out how to make this work.
Yeah, LeVar, I think we also have to accept that if Greg's shirt is Deshaun Watson's, then your shirt is J.J. Watt's. It's solid.
Classy.
It's useful.
It's
but
white.
We're not going to be able to get the same thing for them. The value is not the same. I'm actually shocked that you said
cold-blooded, Rick,
that they should break NFL protocol and that they should go ahead and move Deshaun Watson, that they should give in, because that is not NFL protocol. It is, we're going to do what we're going to do, and you're going to like it. But I agree with you 100% that it is time to break NFL protocol in this situation. The mistake that they made was in not giving him a voice or involving him in the process of naming the head coach. It doesn't mean that you take who he says, but you make him feel like he's involved. When you did that, when you said, no, thank you, Deshaun, we'll handle this, and you decided we're going to let J.J. Watt walk, at that point, you should have started entertaining offers for Deshaun Watson, because you should have known that this was not working and that you were not in partnership with your best player. So ultimately, that was the mistake. So at this point, they can only compound it. This is what I don't understand. If they do it, they're going to do it suddenly, and they're going to do it quietly. Quietly, we all know that Deshaun Watson wants out. We all know that you're picking up the phone and listening. Why not entertain offers and make it known that you are entertaining offers and you're looking to get the most that you possibly can get? This is not entertaining, not moving him at this point would only compound the mistakes that they've already made.
I 100% agree. So a couple of things that I want to address. Like we talk about J.J. Watt and them releasing J.J. Watt upon his request and honoring that. Well, this entire season, when we saw that image, that classic photo of J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson walking off the field for the last time together as Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson desperately wanted to be successful for JJ. It was not just for the organization. These were words that came out of his mouth. I feel bad because we weren't able to get it done for JJ. And I know that his time is coming where he may or may not be here. Well, we find out he's not there any longer. So what does that mean for Deshaun Watson? Well, the reason or my why that I was attached to, because Bill O'Brien, he had a really good relationship with Bill O'Brien. As much as we had things to say about Bill O'Brien and what he could and couldn't do, or what he did that was kind of detrimental, trading guys away, whatever. Deshaun and Bill O'Brien had a good relationship. Well, he's out. Now you excuse J.J. Watt. What else is he there for? Because he and the owner, they obviously didn't really have a great relationship. That was fractured. And so now you bring in a different coach, David Culley, who is expected to have an opportunity to rebuild this thing. Well, again, Deshaun Watson is not for rebuilding. I'll take you to Jalen Ramsey and his situation. And this is what you don't want to have. Like, guys, the way that Deshaun Watson has carried himself, he's always been a team-first guy. Everybody loves Deshaun Watson. Well, in the locker room, everyone loved Jalen Ramsey. But when he wanted out, he made certain that he was going to do whatever it takes. Now, he was about that smoke, meaning he was going to be disgruntled. He made it uncomfortable for guys even in the locker room. So there was some parting words. He said some things that were going to be definitely a distraction for not only the coaching staff and Doug Marrone, but also players. So it was like, we can't bring this guy back into the locker room. And I believe that was a business decision for Jalen Ramsey and a tactic for him to get out. And it worked in his behalf, whereas I don't believe Deshaun Watson is willing to go that far. He's not going to start disrespecting the talent that's in the locker room. But what he is trying to get done, and Rick, you alluded to this, or I'm sorry, LeVar, you alluded to this. Let him know openly what you're trying to do. We're gonna try to accommodate you as well as us. But if we can't get what we're asking for back in compensation, then we're going to have to come to terms. But you have to be open with everything. You have to disclose all information to a guy like Deshaun Watson in hopes that if it does not work out, if a trade does not happen, okay, you got to kind of work with us. We tried. It didn't work. We were open with you with what we were asking as far as compensation. You agreed to that, or you had some say. Now you got to work with us, Deshaun. That is the only way I feel like he would potentially come back and put on that Houston Texans uniform.
Greg, it works like this, right? In the 1980 photos that you used to take for your school yearbook, at some point, you got to change the background, right? Like Rick's. You know what I mean? Like, when you think about how dated the background is, you have to make better decisions moving forward, all right? You live and you learn. Now, we'll look back at those yearbooks, and we'll be happy about looking at those pictures. Rick looked just like the dude that he was when he was in 8th, 9th grade. I mean, I'm buying that, right?
Not that far off,
what I'm not buying, Rick, what I'm not buying is not living and not learning. In 2021, if my Marley said, hey, Dad, what do you think about my yearbook picture with that background? I would say, who took those pictures and why am I paying for this yearbook? That's how I feel about the way the Texans are handling the situation with Deshaun Watson. You have got to come into 2021, people. Look at it from this perspective and this perspective only. You have ruined a relationship with your star franchise quarterback. You have. You take a moment with all the things that are being discussed and look at it at face value. You have deteriorated and ruined and poisoned the relationship with your quarterback. Live and learn from it. Don't make this mistake again, but don't make the mistake worse and keep taking them photos with more and more kids for the photos that are going to go into that yearbook, Rick. You got to change out the background and you got to come into 2021. That's the point.
I had no idea you were that attached to that shirt. Look, this is the problem that I have with GM Nick Caserio. And I hate to bag on a guy who inherited a situation as tough as the one that he has inherited with the Texans. But that said, this is what's always troubled me with some of the people that come out of the Bill Belichick tree and take on jobs, either as head coaches or as GMs, is that I don't know if you guys are Star Wars fans.
I am.
But the Darth Sidious role image that Bill Belichick portrays. Can you show me here?
Oh, wow, it's close.
Darth Sidious, in case you don't get them mixed up, Darth Sidious is on the left. Right. Bill is on the right. They've come to believe that his secretive, imperial, that kind of evil approach to you're going to do it my way and I don't take any input, that somehow is part of the formula of success. When the reality is, it's his ability to identify talent and to scheme to get the most out of that talent. We tolerate the Darth Sidious deal because of that other success. And I feel as if the way Caserio is approaching this, he's thinking like, Tom Brady wasn't involved in Bill's decisions and didn't have a seat at the table. Certainly, Deshaun, you can't have a seat at the table with me. The reality is, look, Nick, you are not Bill Belichick. You don't have that track record. And the Texans are not the New England Patriots. They're in a different position. And as LeVar mentioned, we're in a different world. The reality is that teams and organizations partnering with their best players, at least feeling like they're involved in the decision-making process, is simply part of the new reality, not just in the NBA, but in organizations in professional sports across the board. And that ultimately is the mistake that the Texans are making.
Well, time is winding up, and they're going to have to make a decision very quickly, and we're going to see how it plays out, if it's quiet or if it's loud. We'll see it, and we'll talk about it.